Fantastic. This is really beautiful, fantastic. What a crowd. What a crowd. Well, I want to thank everybody. You know, we have a big night tomorrow night. Is anybody thinking about it? It's going to be good. We've had so many good things happen over the last 5-month period. It's been actually amazing. The people of this country are absolutely incredible people, and I am honored to be with you tonight. It's like this all over the place. We're going to take our country back, folks. We're going to take it back. We're taking our country back. It's gone on too long, too many mistakes, too many stupid people telling us what we're supposed to be doing. We're going to be taking it back, and we're taking it back soon. We can't put up with it any longer. You see what happens. The Iran deal, incompetent. Anything you look, now I hear Bergdahl, no jail time for Bergdahl. I mean, no jail time. We have a man there who left. He's a traitor. He left. 5 people killed looking for him. And what happens? For years, he's been under the same thing. And I hear there's not going to be jail time. It's incredible. You know, 50 years ago, what would have happened? Boom. 25 years ago, probably the same thing, but it would have taken longer. 10 years ago, jail time. 5 years ago, a couple of years. Now he's going to get nothing. He's going to get nothing. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just thinking of it now for the first time. If I get in, we will review his case, I promise you. And you know what? Statute of limitations, we'll be reviewing Hillary Clinton's case, too. I can tell you. We will review that. You know, before I go too far, I've made some great friends, and you know, I announced and I talked about illegal immigration. There was a huge firestorm. Everyone went crazy. Oh, illegal immigration. It wasn't even something that people were going to talk about. And then all of a sudden they started saying, you know, maybe Trump is right. But I went through 2 weeks. It was unbelievable. And I mean, it was really incredible. I didn't mind it. You know, it's called life, because I'm telling the truth. I don't mind when you're saying something that's correct. And this country needs to get away from political correctness. It's killing us. It's killing us. It is absolutely killing us. And I announced we talked about what's happening at the border. We talked about the illegals pouring in. And all of a sudden, people started seeing lots of crime, and they started really seeing it. It was focused because it was like a magnifying glass. And we had beautiful Kate in San Francisco, who was killed and shot 5 times. And then we had so many others. We had the woman a few weeks ago in California, raped, sodomized, 66-year-old veteran, raped, sodomized, and killed by an illegal immigrant. We have much, much crime, so much all over the place. And a friend of mine, I see him backstage with a group from Remembrance families. You know Remembrance, right? These are people whose families have been devastated by people that weren't supposed to be in our country. People that came here, were forced here by countries that are smarter. And I want to just they're friends of mine, and in particular, somebody I've really gotten to know well, and he's a special man. Could the Remembrance families come up? And this is Jamil Shaw. Come on up. And get the families up. Come on up. Come on up. I saw him backstage. We were going to say hello, and I said, come on up and say a few words. These are incredible people. What they've gone through is unimaginable. And Jamil, I've known now Jamil for quite a while, and his son was this unbelievable young man. And I just ask you to say a few words, Jamil. Tell us exactly what happened, please.
Good evening. March 2008, my son Jazz, we were at a football camp, a clinic in Pasadena. It was designed for Division I prospects. So, we had a good chance doing some good things. So we were practicing, on our 10th week. On the way home, of course, he asked, can he go to the mall? I'm sure, everybody, kids ask that. So, of course, I'd be home by 7. I didn't want to let him go because, L.A. is really unsafe, like Mr. Trump is saying, it's unsafe. But I thought since he was a good kid, he'd be okay. I gave him a chance. Be home by 7. So 7 o'clock came. I called him. He wasn't home. I said, hey, where are you? He said, oh, Dad, we'll be there in a minute. We caught the wrong bus. But we're safe. He thought the same thing. I'm safe. He knew what I was thinking about. And a few minutes later, I said, I'll call you in an hour. I called him back. Where are you now? Hey, right around the corner, old man. So I was like, whoo. I was happy, Whoo, he made it home. And then, of course, I heard 2 gunshots. That's really loud, and I never really heard gunshots before, but it was so crispy, and people who know about guns, when it's really crispy, you can tell it's close by. And I just like, oh man, I hope this, I just figured he was already shot because I had this feeling. I remember saying, I hope he's not dead. And I went outside and looked, and landed in the street dead. Found out he was on the phone with his girlfriend. His girlfriend said saw this guy walking up on him, and he was, uh-oh, what's going on? She was like, well, run, do something. It was too late. She heard the guy say, what set you from? And and one of the neighbors said, shot him in his stomach. And while he was on the ground, the coroner testified in court that when he was shot in the stomach with a .45, he was on his back with his hands up. He shot him through his hand into his head and killed him. He was dead. And I ran outside and I looked right down at it. I'm looking at his face. And even today, I still can't believe it. It's just not real. I never bounced back from that. It's if you're a parent or you could be anybody, I always ask people, what would you do? What would you do if an illegal alien in the 18th Street gang was released from the county jail, and into our neighborhoods? We don't know what's going on. That's why we need Donald Trump, because he wants to, he feels what we feel. I mean, he feels what we feel. He's just like us, I know that now, I saw him on TV. I had no idea, but he wants us to be safe. He wants to make us safe. We all love to be safe. Yeah, Trump. And you have to ask, you ask these people like that, you ask them, what would you expect of somebody running for president to do if you heard that illegal aliens were murdered Americans? Trump is what we need. He speaks for the dead. He speaks for our families. We love Donald Trump. And if everybody, all we have to do is just go and vote. Don't be scared of people like that. Don't be intimidated at people like that. Nothing is wrong with us. We don't have to like illegal aliens. We don't have to. We're Americans. We want Americans first. Why can't we be first? We should be first. Donald Trump wants us to be first, and we have to stand with him because he's standing for America, and trust in him like I do.
These are amazing people. They're amazing families. What they're going through, you cannot imagine, for no reason whatsoever. Just incompetent people. They allow these people to come into our country. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Okay. So today we had a lot of news, and it was all good. It never gets reported properly by these people back here. Look at all those press. Well, I've learned 2 things. more than anything else how smart the people are and how bad and dishonest the press is, because it is really dishonest. It is really, really dishonest. So we had a lot of polls coming out today, and they were really good. That's right. You're my man. That's right. So we had a Monmouth poll, very highly respected. Trump, 41. Cruz, 14. And everyone else much lower. I mean, somewhere. So I heard today when they announced the poll, 41-14, and I like Cruz, good guy. But I heard, here's how they announced: Cruz surging. So when I heard this was on television, Cruz surging, so I said, oh, I don't know, that sounds bad to me. Coming up, Cruz surging. Then they say the Monmouth poll was just done. Cruz is surging. Trump 41, Cruz 14. I said, wait a minute. What's going on? I tell you what, they are the most dishonest people. Then, you know about CNN. CNN came out just recently, 36-16. Gravis poll, highly respected, 42-16 to 12 to 11. So then today, it was very interesting because I did have one poll in Iowa, which I never expect to get. I can't stand the paper. It's a horrible paper. Des Moines Register, it's terrible. You know, of course I would never say they do this, but they have a very small sample. If they take about 10 votes and put them in their pocket, you understand that. So Des Moines Register was 21-31. All of a sudden, it was like the biggest story I've ever seen. Okay? That was just Iowa. Don't worry about it. It's Iowa. We love Iowa, but I think we're doing great in Iowa. And I expect to win Iowa. We think we're going to do great in Iowa. I get by far the biggest crowds. And okay. So then we had a CNN poll. So CNN today was talking about a poll that wasn't theirs. And I kept saying, why don't they talk about a poll that's theirs? So they just did this poll. It's a new poll. CNN in Iowa, Trump 33, Cruz 20, and then everyone else much lower. So we actually sent a couple of emails, started to tweet a little bit. You know, the Twitter's great when you have between 5 and 10 and 13. We have so many people. We have millions. So we started to tweet. We said, why is CNN not playing their poll? It's their poll. So if anybody has an idea, please let me know before the evening ends. Then we had a Fox News poll, which was a pretty good poll. It was pretty much tied. Then we had Quinnipiac. And Quinnipiac was 28, Trump 27, Cruz. In other words, we won. They call it a tie. They say it was tied. Okay. I mean, sort of win. You know the bottom line? I think we're going to win Iowa. I think we're going to win New Hampshire big. I think that, frankly, if we win Iowa, we run the table. I think, frankly, if we win New Hampshire, which we're way, way, way up, and South Carolina's been unbelievable. And by the way, in Nevada, we're winning big. We're winning in Florida. We're winning everywhere. So I just want to let you know, this is not going to be a waste of anybody's time, believe me. This is going to be something special. Do I hear some noise over there? Yes, I do. Bye-bye. You know, look at all those cameras turned over there. They only turn when there's a protester. They are the worst. They only turn when there's a protester. They never, ever turn unless there's a protester. Yeah, get him out of here, please. Please, thank you. Get him out. What is our country coming to? It's unbelievable. No, it's unbelievable. You know the truth, though? I'll be honest. We should have been doing that for the last 7 years. I give them credit. I don't know why we don't. I don't know why we don't. We have a silent majority that's actually a noisy majority, but we should have been doing what they're doing for the last 7 years. Because what's happening to our country is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. So, all right, thank you. Good job. I love you too. I love you. I do love you. That's why I'm doing this. I had such a nice life. I had such an easy life. Now I'm doing this. Give me a break. We're going to make America great again, folks. We're going to make America great. And with me, there's no super PACs. There's no phony money all over the place. I'm funding my campaign. You got to see this. These people, $125 million super PAC, I guarantee you whoever it is, you know who it is, right? But there are many of them. They have all of this money in super PACs. The super PACs totally control the candidate. They totally control the candidate. If they want something, they get something. And if it's not to your benefit, they couldn't care less. They don't care. Believe me. And that's what's sick about the system. And frankly, 6 months ago, I was on the other side. I was like the fair-haired boy. I gave $350,000 to the Republican Governors Association. I was on the other side. I was like establishment. Can you believe it? Now I'm a politician. I hate the term. I'm a politician. I'll never be a politician. I don't want to be a politician. Don't want to be a politician. They had one case where a super PAC, for a nice guy, he's a nice guy, so I'm not going to mention his name, but it was on the front page of the Los Angeles Times. A super PAC raised $6 million. By the time everybody took their slice and their cut, they were left with $140,000 for the campaign. Think of it. Now, that's a pretty good business. You guys ought to try it sometime. Pretty good. And you wonder, how come they're losing money? How come they're out of money? Why are they complaining? They're going to leave the campaign. Because you have to see the money that's being made. You have to see the money that's being made by people raising money. It's insane. It's better than being a real estate broker. I want to tell you that, folks. You can do this and you can retire after one campaign. It is a disgrace what's happening with money. It's a disgrace what's happening with influence. And we're going to end it, folks. We're going to end it. We're going to end it. So, when I started the quest, remember the famous escalator ride, right? Coming down. We're waving. But I made a decision. I said, look, it takes guts to run for president. It really does. I never did this stuff before. And it takes guts. But I know what can happen. And by the way, not just because I'm doing well, more importantly, because I've gotten to know so many people. We have such incredible people in this country. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I said to my wife, I said, look at that. It was in Trump Tower in New York. You have never seen, look at all the press back there now, but you have never seen so many reporters and cameras, and you couldn't breathe in the building. And I said, you know what? We got to do it. Just too many mistakes. Let's do it. And I took a deep breath at the top of that escalator. In fact, if you see it, they probably have tapes of maybe they don't want to show that. Too nice. They don't want to show. They only want to show bad stuff. But you know what? I took a deep breath. I said, let's go. And we went down, and I talked about illegal immigration. And I brought out a lot of things that would have never been discussed. And we're going to have a border. We're going to build a wall, and Mexico is going to pay for the wall. They're going to pay for the wall. Now, a lot of the people that are running against me, they say, oh, well, Mexico will never do that. Why would they do that? Because they're politicians. They have no idea. They don't know business. They don't know business. Look, Mexico, I love Mexico, just so you understand. I love the Mexican people. I have thousands that have worked for me over the years. They're fantastic people. But their leaders, right? Do we love Mexico? We love Mexico. I agree. But their leaders are too smart for our leaders. because our leaders, not so good, folks, okay? They're too smart, they're too sharp, they're too cunning. What's happening at the border is horrible. What's happening with trade? I mean, we have Ford building plants in Mexico. We have Nabisco moving from Chicago, their big factory, into Mexico. They'll make Oreos. Think of it. No more Oreos for us, right? No more. Somebody served me Oreos the other day. First time in my life. I said, I'm not eating Oreos anymore. But they left Chicago. And they're going to be moving a big plant into Mexico. Tennessee, a great state. They thought they had it made with this car company. All of a sudden, at the last moment, the car company announced they're going to Mexico. It's out of control. It's out of control. So Mexico is beating us at the border. They're beating us at trade. Now, here's the story. Mexico is we have a trade imbalance. We have an imbalance with Mexico of over $40 billion a year. And that doesn't include drugs. The drugs, you can probably double it. Who the hell knows? That's free of drugs. But the drugs pour across. Now, we have no wall. And when we do have a wall, it's a little toy, like built by Baron Trump, okay? It's a little toy. Did you ever see the picture, pretty famous picture, where they have a wall and they built a ramp on each side of the wall and they drive trucks over loaded up with drugs. They drive it right over the ramp. That's not a Trump wall, folks. This is a big building. See that ceiling? That ceiling is much lower than my wall. Believe me, we have a real wall. We have a real wall. And I know how to build it. And I know how to get them to pay for it. It's very simple. Folks, you're killing us. You're making too much money. Now, the wall's going to cost $9 billion, okay? A lot of money. The Great Wall of China is 13,000 miles long. That was built 2,000 years ago, right? We say we can't build a wall. You know, a lot of the people that are opposed to the wall now wanted to build it 14, 15 years ago. And you know, one of the reasons they couldn't build it is they couldn't get an approved environmental income. Can you imagine this? They couldn't get environmental impact statements approved. They couldn't get them. There was a snake in the way. There was a turtle in the way. There was a toad in the way. There was a snail in the way. No, they couldn't get it. Just like when I said, knock out the oil, right? I've been saying that. Knock out the oil. One of the reasons they didn't want to knock out the oil, take it away from ISIS, take away their money, a big part of it, although they get a lot of money from a lot of other things like banking. We'll talk about that. But one of the reasons they didn't want to knock out the oil, they didn't want to hurt the environment. This is serious. They didn't want the fumes going into the atmosphere. And then we're supposed to win. What do you think General Patton would say? I mean, he was a brutal guy that liked one word. It was called winning. So what do you think General George Patton would have said if the president said, listen, don't hurt anybody, let's nice and easy, we don't want to put any pollutant in the air. Don't forget, he'd say, you're fired. That's very good. Now, can you imagine? Now, we have the General Pattons, and we have General MacArthur. We have great generals, potentially, in our midst. I mean, they go to Annapolis, they go to West Point, they go to Air Force Academy. These are great people. We have great people. But probably the best ones are kept down. We lost a good general 2 years ago because he was foul-mouthed. He spoke with bad language. He was great. The men, you know who I'm talking. We know. He was a good general. Everybody loved him. His men loved him. Everybody loved him. And look what happened to him. Then we lost another one, Petraeus. He got because of emails and because of giving stuff. And yet Hillary did 20 times more, and she's just fine, right? She's just fine. So we're going to find the right people. And I will tell you this. For 5 years, I did nothing but speak about how China is ripping us off, about how Japan is ripping us off with the cars, thousands and thousands of cars pouring in. I was in Los Angeles. I mean, these boats are massive. The ships, they're Massive cars pouring in. Looks like the Long Island Expressway. The cars just coming off the. We get them practically nothing. I mean, you look at the imbalance, happens to be about $70 billion, okay, a year, and you say, what's happening? We have all the power. We have all the strength. Mexico, I told you, it's both. I mean, Mexico is going to become the car capital of the world soon, the way they're going. They're taking our business. They're doing everything. And in addition, they kill us. Well, that's going to end. It's all going to end. It's all going to end. Believe me, it's true. They never move. Don't worry, they won't move. But did you see when you had that protester over there? Boom, those cameras, they were bent like a pretzel looking, trying to find. They are the worst. They are the worst. So, thank you. That's very nice. You're the best also. You know what? We're all the best together. We're going to be the best. We're going to be the best. So many cameras on there. He said for many, many decades, we're the most unprepared that he's. You know, somebody wrote recently, they said, Trump's a really good speaker, but the one problem he has, he speaks right through the applause. And you know why I do that? Because I'm so excited. I mean, I love what we're going to do together. I can't wait. It's true. No, I love what we're going to do together. We have so many great people, so many incredible people, so many smart people. They get it. I mean, how the hell do I get 41 and 42%? Again, this is against 15 people, by the way. This isn't against two people. But leaving, which is nice. It would be nice to have some more time to talk. It's so many people. There's so many people, and many of them don't have a chance. You say, what are you doing? Just go home and relax. This guy. That's funny. This guy screams out, "Low energy, Mr. Trump. They're low energy." No. And I'm saying to myself, then you turn on the news, you see they're cutting people's heads off in Syria because they're Christians. They're doing, and other reasons, and frankly, any other thing they want. They're drowning people in steel cages. And she's saying Donald Trump has a harsh tone. Well, I don't like his temperament. Oh, that's fine. Look, we've got to get. Does a meeting, and she's gonna have like. Like 3 or 4 people, doesn't do this. First of all, she can't draw crowds like this. She can't draw. She'll get 200 or 300 people. I won't mention names, but a couple of the candidates last night, one had 51 people, they counted it. One had 153. We have, what, 4,000 or 5,000 people here. It's like packed. Place is unbelievable. And you know, I have some beautiful stuff in Las Vegas. There's plenty to do here. So when you come out, and we can't even give you seats because there's too many people. Sorry about that, folks. We had. And she'll take.